Hey everybody, Gino Reynolds, The Real Opinion, Rapid Fire Reviews, VOD edition.
And that's it! Now let's do this!
Diablo. Hey Hollywood, please stop pretending that Scott Eastwood is a second coming of Clint Eastwood. While I liked most of this movie about a young Civil War veteran trying to save his kidnapped wife, most of my problems with it stem from the use of Scott Eastwood basically playing his dad. I know at certain angles he looks like his dad, especially with that beard, but he is nowhere near the actor his dad is. You need a strong actor to pull this part off. Walton Goggins is in this movie as a wandering killer, and he is amazing, but we don't get enough of him. Sorta. My hunch about where this movie was going was correct, but I still liked it until the end. The ending tries to be too artsy for this type of movie. With a stronger lead, this movie could have been great. Band of Robbers. What would happen if Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn were adults in our time? This movie tries to answer that question with some mixed results. While I commend this movie for trying something like this, I felt that the unbalanced tone hurt what could have been a pretty good film. I really like the serious things in this movie, Tom and Huck's friendship and the mystery behind the lost treasure plot. These things kept me curious until the end. They even found a way to fit in the character of Slave Jim in a more modern and more acceptable way. When the movie tried to be more comedic is where it fell flat for me. There are scenes between Tom, Huck, and their quote-unquote gang that really drag on because of the attempted humor. The love story with Becky Thatcher is also pretty bad. And it's too bad, because a lot of this one really won me over. Moonwalkers. The U.S. government is unsure whether or not the moon landing will work. Their backup plan have filmmaker Stanley Kubrick film a fake moon landing as a backup. They send an unstable CIA agent to make the deal. What you get with this premise is a drug-induced, very late 60s what-if behind the theory that the moon landing was fake. This movie is about as late 60s as you can get, and in a way reminded me a bit of Inherent Vice with its style. I really like that they toy with you on which route they are going to go on whether or not we landed on the moon. Ron Perlman is a lot of fun as a CIA agent that has trouble letting go of his Vietnam past. This movie is funny and at times ultra-violent. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but I had a lot of fun with this one for what it was. Bone Tomahawk. This is probably one of the best westerns I've seen in a while, but it's not for everybody. 4 men go on the hunt for the savages that kidnapped one of the men's wife. I like that all the men have their motivations for going, all of them different. This leads to the story being very character-driven, which is always a plus. For me, Kurt Russell, with his halfway to the Hateful Eight mustache, is always welcome in a western. I think my favorite character is Matthew Fox's Brooder. You think he's one thing, but then you find out things about him which makes him a more complicated and interesting character. Near the last act of the story, the film pushes the violence up a ton when we finally get to meet the villains. This is why I said this one wasn't for everybody. It gets pretty gruesome, but if you can stomach what happens, this is a really good film. But remember, it's only just one guy's opinion.
Next time on The Real Opinion, Robert De Niro plays a dirty old man on a road trip with Zac Efron. What could go wrong? Until next time, I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Opinion.